How many in this room are considering risking arrest today? All right, that's great. Now, listen, all of you are considering risking arrest. Please fill out this form I'm going to give you. There's a phone number. It doesn't count. When you get the form, it's basic information so that you don't get lost. Now, just because you pass out this form and you fill it out, it doesn't mean you have a support system intact. It just means we have a backup to make sure we can find people at the end of the day. That's hardly a support system. We do not have enough time here to create one. I hope you brought one. Or find somebody. We do have time, but you do need to find your own support people. Just thinking on those terms. And if you're risking arrest, just a kind of a basic thing, you don't want to drive out there. So if you're risking arrest, find other drivers. Okay, now take one and pass them on. And we probably at the moment we probably don't have enough forms. Somebody is out getting more forms made. Okay, they're over there. So why don't you start those around over there?
Are we going to address this whole support system thing again? Because I did not have one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's some other sheets we'll pass around in a minute. Okay, so the remaining of the time, the good part of it, we're going to do some activities. Get involved, emotionally get involved. And one is kind of cerebral, and also you have to use your body. So everybody stand and get just get in a pack right here, in the middle. Just stand in a group in the middle. Group hug. Kind of like that, because it's a small room. You gotta. All right, now listen to me here. I'm gonna see this. Now there are four places. This one over here, this wall here. Think of that as non-violence. Now this wall over here. If you think something's violent, that's the violent side. So I'm going to give you an example, and I want you to move where you think it's violent or non-violent. The closer you get, more violent, non-violent. All right. Good. That's the first thing. Now, it's a little more complicated because over there is effectiveness, and over there is not effective. Okay, just for a trial, and we're going to use the pipeline as an experience. Has writing your Congress people, writing letters to the editor, is it violent or non-violent? Is it effective or not effective? Depending on where you want to move in the direction. You got to move in a direction. You can't just sit here. You got to. Is it non-violent or violent? Is it effective or non-effective? That's effective. That's not effective.
Oh, wait a minute.
That's non-violent. This is violent. Okay, let's see. All right. Now, you might notice that everybody believes this is non-violent. However, there's a disagreement on effectiveness and ineffectiveness.
This is ineffective. We're not effective.
This is effective. This is ineffective. Okay, now, you stand over here. You're on the strongest side for effectiveness. Tell me why you think it's effective.
Well, because there's a lot of people that are going to go together and we're going to do it as a group.
Right, writing letters and calling the Congress people. That's right. And you know it's really nonviolent, isn't it?
Yes.
So you should be sitting up, moving a little closer. All right. So, how about somebody here want to talk to me why they think it's a nonviolent but not effective?
Because nothing ever comes of it.
Hey, folks,
Louder,
please.
Because nothing seems to come from it. Even though I think it's necessary, I don't think it's effective.
All right, but this was not about a specific everything. It was about the pipeline thing. Has writing the congressman, have writing letters?
No.
No. So there's a sense of it hasn't been effective. Okay, the next one, number 2, sabotage. 3 different sites in Iowa. people go and destroy or dismantle, what do you call them? Machines that are digging.
Excavators.
Excavators. Now, is that act non-violent or violent? Is it effective or not effective? If you don't know, you sit in the middle. You know.
Or if it's both.
Okay, so let me see. I got somebody over here. Brenda, you're over here. You got it non-violent and is it
Not effective.
Not effective.
Yeah, I mean, the nonviolent, I'm over here just for argument's sake. I feel like I could go either way, but mostly, I mean, if like during the Holocaust, if I could have destroyed the things that burned people up, I would have. And I think that's a very nonviolent act to destroy the things that are killing people and killing the planet. And it's to destroy property, it can be very nonviolent because you're saving lives. But I think the effect that it's had in Iowa is that people think those folks are crazy and there's people dressed in black sneaking around.
So Brenda's of the opinion that it's a non-violent act or could be a non-violent act, but it's really not too effective. All right, let's go to the extreme. Someone else over here thinks it's violent and yet effective. Go ahead.
I think it's violent because there could be the potential for people being hurt, but it draws attention and gets information out, and that way.
All right. How about non-violent or violent and not effective? Wait, what are you guys over here? Effective, not effective, what is it? I've lost it.
I think it's ineffective because it just distracted from what we were actually trying to do.
Okay, all right.
It gives
Well, it's,
all protectors a bad name.
yes.
It discredits this movement.
Discredits this
Public
movement
eye.
in the public eye. All right. All right, that's number 2. Number 3. All right. Iowa State Fair, the registers, open mic soapbox. You do a mic check and you try to get on the stage of Paul Ryan and disrupt it. All right, now, is that an effective or not? Is it non-violent or violent? Is it effective or not effective? Violent, non-violent, effective, not effective. Violent, non-violent.
No,
Well, non-violent is up there. Violent. All right, so kind of a mic check at the Iowa State Fair. Paul Ryan. People rushing. Some people rushing the stage and getting on to disrupt it. So everyone here says it's non-violent, although you got it as violent or a violent shade. You don't like rude people, do you? Okay.
no, it's you have to broaden your definition of violence. It's not just physical.
Okay. Broaden the definition, so it's more than physical. How about over here? I got a corner here. It's non-violent and it's effective. Who has the talk?
Anything that can keep Paul Ryan from talking.
That was a facetious but truthful answer. Anything to keep Paul Ryan from talking is a good thing for the community. How about non-violent and not effective?
Yeah, I don't think that's effective because it makes you look, it makes you look dumb. I really think that sort of thing makes you look dumb.
Okay.
And it would
Paul Ryan in the first place. It's like,
All right. Yeah,
and
let's
it would be better to make a separate speech after him.
Listen, to remind you all that there are no right answers, and this was something that actually happened. All right, number 4. All right. Big air show, military. People go to a B-52 bomber while thousands of people are around, and they take out hammers, regular hammers, and blood, and they try to beat the B-52 bomber. And they're arrested immediately.
Frank, who would have done that?
Somebody might have done that. All right, now, this is non-violent, that is violent. Effective, not effective. They call these plowshares actions. What do you think?
How much
Plowshares
media
action.
coverage is there? How much media coverage is there?
No, good point.
How big was the air show?
Amy Goodman was there, and she was doing a live interview.
Everyone has a pretty small audience.
Hey, you know enough to make a decision. It's not a right or wrong thing. Let's deal with it. All right. So, This is non-violent, that's violent. This is effective, this is not effective. Wow, this, you guys are all over the ballpark on this one. Let's go here.
Well, just the action of destroying property seems violent to me, but the fact that Amy Goodman was there is very effective.
I might add she was arrested too. Right. Right over here. Violent, but not effective.
I think, just optics of the situation, like, it just affects people, they get angry and they don't think straight.
Fair enough. How about over here, non-violent but effective? Yes.
Yeah, I think, like Brenda said earlier, you're taking an action against weapons of war and destruction, so I think it's nonviolent. And I think overall you kind of build up a history of doing these kind of witnesses against a military machine. I think it's effective.
Okay. You can see that, right? And in this group, a plowshare's action gets mixed reviews. That's what I would say from that. The last one, it's a sit-in, and you go limp.
A sit-in where? For what?
Sit-in at the
Pipeline construction.
construction place, and you go limp. You go limp. You know what it means to go limp when you get arrested? You make the police carry you out, and you're loose as a goose. You're not real hot. You know, you don't do this because then they'll start beating you up because they think you don't want to go. You're loose
Totally
as a goose.
relaxed every month.
Totally relaxed every month. That's right. All right, you go limp.
Effective.
That's right. It seems that everybody thinks this is nonviolent. Okay? And there's a mixed review on effective or not effective. The only reason I told you this thing is because it may or may not be effective. It certainly is nonviolent. I just want you to know in the state of Iowa, if you go perfectly limp, they could just add another charge. That's all. It's the law. It ain't fair, but just want you to know what you're dealing with. Have I been charged? People have been charged a couple times, but not very often. Enough said. Now we're going to do hassle line. So I want you to find a partner and maybe 4 rows. I mean, 2 rows facing each other. Lean up, find somebody to partner up 2 rows.
Make 4 lines.
Or 4 lines. Find a partner.
Where are you supposed
This
to
way,
stand in
this way.
relation to your partner?
All right, this way. 2 face each other. It's kind of like a hassle line, but right, it's a dance. You got to face somebody. All right, make it 3 lines. 3 lines facing each other. We just got a lot of people.
Who needs a partner? Raise your hand.
Finally, thank you. Finally.
Everybody partnered up? Everybody partnered up now? This may be the only chance you have to work on the emotional face-to-face thing you're going to be dealing with. Yes? Oh, please listen. All right, great. So everyone got a partner? All right. If you are on this side, you are someone who is just sitting down and you are blocking a drive. And if you are on this side, you are a police person and you are trying to persuade this person to get up or else they'll be arrested. And you can use all of the persuasive tools that police have short of hurting them. All right, ready? You're talking to each other, face to face. You're sitting down. One side is sitting down. Now, once you sit down, start. Or if you can't sit down, don't. all hear when someone talks, you gotta let one person talk at a time. I would like to hear from some of the folks who were sitting down what it felt like. Feelings, yes.
It felt like I was ignoring my older brother when I
Yeah.
was a kid. And all I did was sit here and say, water is life, and said nothing else.
Okay, so it was uncomfortable having someone in your face asking you to do something and you didn't do it.
I just ignored it.
I got it. All right, anybody else?
It felt like boot camp.
Felt like boot camp. Is this first-hand experience of boot camp?
No, I was in the Navy.
Oh, cool.
I was like, so it was like basically my drill sergeant yelling at me and I'm like.
A drill house, this is a vet telling us it felt like she was back at boot camp. Not much different. Anybody else? All right, I'd like to hear from the police side. What it feel like? Yes.
Well, it was difficult because I was both trying to get her to do what I want but be polite, but then towards the end I started throwing some insults and I asked her if she wasn't too old to get arrested. Then she flipped me off.
Well, I just want you to know I recommend the flipping off, not a good idea. I suspect you guys got more going than the pretend cop demonstration going. Someone else have a hand over here? All right, another police person. Yes.
I found that I was looking for the most legal thing I could do to put her down on her face, to make her and arrest her and do whatever I wanted with her.
Okay.
She said that yesterday too.
There's a cop coming on us. All right. Okay.
Let me just say something real quick.
Go ahead.
As a person who was resisting, I felt powerful. I felt emboldened, and I was beginning a dialogue, asking this cop if he or she had kids, and explaining why we were here, and getting the cop to understand why we were here. And there have been times before we've had the police in tears.
All right, so an attempt to make a personal connection with the policeman, eye contact, get them into a discussion. And it's all about, and that's personal, family, you can do that sort of thing. Well, very good.
I think it's interesting, he said it felt powerful over here because over on this side, just verbally trying to get somebody to move that didn't want to move didn't feel powerful. And I don't think it would have until physically I made the move.
Okay. All right, we're going to do it again, but change sides so everybody gets a chance of being cop and protester.
Guys, I'm going to ask you. Sorry. I'm going to have to ask you. If you don't know, can you charge me?
One of the folks who were a protester, what did it feel like? How did it feel? What's going on emotionally while you were doing this stuff? Yeah.
It felt right.
Were you a protester?
I was a protester. It felt right.
It felt right. And anybody? Could you be more elaborate?
It's because I wasn't effective enough.
Hard to be effective.
Personal power.
I think I had a good protester here. Why don't you tell them what you did?
I asked if she liked what was going on behind me. Do they like that they're raping our land? Do you have children? Do you drink water?
Uh-huh.
Are you afraid to drink the water in Iowa?
Right. Yeah, good. You're developing, you're trying to reach the policeman as a human being on the same level. And she hooked you, didn't she?
She did, because I was saying, hey, I'm just trying to do my job. This, you know, I have to have you move.
I know you tried your best, but you know, I just don't buy it. Anyone else? Go ahead.
I would just say on that note, to follow up too, just be real sensitive, because that could go south really quick as well if they start feeling like they're being attacked. So just, you know, we sympathize because we are of that mind already, but they may not, so.
All I can tell you, I mean, I don't think this is a problem today. It's going to be all right. But generally speaking, you know, humor sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. Have you noticed that in your personal relationships? Well, when you do it with a cop, if it goes south, the cop has the upper hand. So I generally not, I mean, it's up to you. It's really important to make personal contact. Especially if you're a woman. I'm telling you, you make a lot more contact as a female, or old people, or young people. It's that middle demographics that have a hard time with the police.
Question, Frank, in your experience, about how much time do you have for that conversation?
Depends on whether they're immediately arresting, or they're asking you to leave, or it's just an ongoing presence.
It could be less than a minute, right? Or
Oh, could be less than a minute. Yes, they can do arrest very quickly. But if someone tells you you're under arrest, I suspect, I'm saying go into the plan post-arrest, whatever your plan was, which non-violently, whatever it is.
And they can forcibly arrest you.
Every arrest is forcible, or forcibly meaning, oh yeah, they can, if you don't
Restrain you
move,
and cuff you and get to the house.
if you don't do what they ask you to do after your arrest, they can do anything to make you do what you do.
And on resisting arrest.
Correct.
Is that our objective, is to have them physically remove us?
No. Well, yeah, no, look, I've done
No, it's not possible.
I've done 8 trespass at Stratcom. Each time I've gotten 6 months. I've never had a fight with a cop. It's always been nice. I'm there to confront the system. We're here to confront the system. We're not the enemy of the police. That's real important.
So once they say you're under arrest, because I think that's the phrase you have to listen for, right? At that point, is it not a good idea to go limp? Or, I mean, that's the
That is,
question.
we haven't decided, but you hear going limp is a, let me just say that this nonviolent training that you're getting here right now, if you're thinking about destroying property, forget it. This is not enough training. If you're thinking about putting up a fight with a cop and making this an issue, we're not training you enough. I'm a trainer and you're not trained enough. I just want you to know, we have not trained today for that kind of activity. We're not going to block your conscience. Going limp is nonviolent. We saw everybody agreed, right?
Yeah.
If you choose to go limp, we don't have enough time to process right now. If you go limp, it's on your own. We love you. Love you whatever you do, as long as you stay nonviolent. Just know you have that extra charge. Do we want people to go limp? No, we're not recommending it. So that's all I'm about to say. Is there enough? Do we need to talk any more about limp? Okay. Hey, all right, now, any other questions? Anyone else have a feeling on these exercises? Anything? Yeah.
One more question about arrest. So, do the police always cuff you if you're arrested?
No.
So you're going to
But
be
you're
arrested and be willing to walk away with them?
The question was, do they always cuff you when you're arrested? No. If you go off, I've been at both ways. It depends on the police. And look, if you're old, look, I pull off this old thing. Then they do this. Oh, I said my shoulders are. Please they can give you an extra. If you really are old like me and it hurts, tell them. There's ways they can do it where it won't hurt. No promise that they'll do it. But generally speaking, these folks aren't out to get us, and they're not going to do that today in front of a lot of people. And they're not going to hurt you on purpose. I just know these folks aren't going to do it.
So my point, but Frank, my point is, so if someone is arrested and they willingly get up and leave with the police because he asked me to do that,
right?
All right, I could still be arrested but not handcuffed. Just do what they tell me to do,
right?
And I'm still on handcuffs,
right? I will tell you though, I think the state troopers always handcuffed you. I mean, that's been my experience.
For their safety.
That's it, yeah. All right. All right, that's, go back to your seats, folks.
Okay, I've got another sheet that is, there's a part on it for the people that are going to be arrested, and then there's a part on here for a support person. And it's just some really basic information. And on here, I wrote this up before hearing Sally, so one part on there about bail money is probably not high enough, but you've already heard what Sally said, so you know that. But anyway, I'm just going to pass these around, and I suggest you do what's on them.
Okay. Just, I want to say something obvious, that these are some of the things we're not going to cover here today, but they are still something you need to deal with, and we're giving you permission, being like, there's no body, and there's no one right way of doing this. So let me tell you how I see it. Once you get arrested, if you get arrested, then it is your choice to bail out or not. We're not having jail solidarity today. We're not doing that today. You can choose to pay the bail, and you don't have to go to court. If you just want to pay the fine, or if you got to get in front of a judge, and if you have to say to the judge, hello, this is a one-shot thing for me, I have a job and these tapes, but I needed to stand up for conscience, I'll never do this again, I promise to pay everything. I'm going to tell you something, that's okay. That's okay. Now, if you're a crazy Catholic worker, and as soon as you get arrested, you go limp, you don't tell them your name, you poop in your pants, wait till you let you go, and then they hold you for who knows what, that's okay. That's okay. Everybody's got their own way of resisting the system. Today, we're going to be one body in action. And we're not going to hurt anybody. And we're not going to destroy property. And we're not going to engage in arguments verbal with anybody. Your strongest statement here today is your body. And where you choose to put it nonviolently. And then after today, we'll pick up the pieces and figure out what's going on. Just know that. There's limits to what we can teach you today and what we can do today. But there's just a universe of things that are going to happen. And we're on the side of nonviolence. Just remember that. A mantra in your heart. When you go and see lots of people, things start to get excited, just remind you of that. All right. All right. And questions? Yeah.
What county are we in now?
What county are we in now?
Boone County.
Boone County.
Where's the county jail?
Where's the county jail in Boone?
Boone.
Boone.
Where's Boone? Which way is Boone first?
That way, or this way.
It's actually, it's
That way.
One of the most difficult things we'll do today is get to the site where the action is planned. It takes about a half hour, and we're going to go all the way around Boone because why? It's filled with thousands of people right now for that farm thing.
farm progress, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we're about to stop with general questions and then jump into crafting what we're going to do today. Any general questions?
Yeah, back on the point you just made. So it's completely within our, depending on what we do, it's completely possible would be home in our own beds tonight.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
I want everybody to hear that. Yeah.
You can be, if you have enough money in your pocket, you can get out very quickly.
Right?
Yes.
A couple things. We haven't actually decided where this action is occurring yet. There's the reason for that. And that's what will happen when we're done with this, the actual scenario planning. And at one point, for those who, if we do run into issues with there needing to be bail money, if those who have that capacity to pay can, great. We do have money raised to help those who can't if we get to that point.
Okay.
And Frank, I would suggest maybe a 5 or 10 minute break in between this and our reconvening for the scenario planning.
All right.